thank you so much for choosing to rise with Sunrise. And of course, welcome back. I want you to think back to when you were a kid. Yes. Did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up? Was it a doctor, a lawyer, maybe a host on Sunrise? Well, our next guest is helping Caribbean kids dream bigger and bolder. Social impact creator and author Joel Namdarkam's Future Makers, a guide to 30 creative careers, is an exciting children's book and maybe an adult's book too.
Yes, oh yes.
And it shines a spotlight on opportunities in the creative industries, empowering the next generation to explore careers that match their passions. Welcome to Sunrise Book Club.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back.
Yes. There was a promise the last time. I'm like, the next time I come, the book is actually going to be. You're
gonna have the book, and here it is, and it's a beautiful book.
Thank you so much.
Listen, I think I can imagine. I know it might be fairly obvious what the book is about, obviously, but I just again want to touch on the inspiration behind this, why it was so important for you to create this book.
You know, so I have the Reading and Reasoning Initiative, which I started back in 2022. I started out getting into schools, targeting boys, due to the statistics we were seeing around boys, you know, not being able to read or not having a love or like for reading. Would have surpassed a target of reaching 500 boys. And then I'm like, you know what, this has to continue. I have to keep getting into the schools, promoting bibliotherapy. And while doing that, I realized the students were always fascinated with my friends and the camera. So when my friends are there capturing pictures or taking a video, they're like, oh, sir, where we find that? Or what is that? And then I'm like, you know what? Something that's also missing in this space is where the conversations around how these children can tap into the creative space. So every time I get into the schools and introduce myself as a marketer, they're puzzled, and then I get to explain it. So I came up with the idea, I sat down with my publisher one day, well, Latoya, who's one of my closest friends, no publisher for the book, and I'm like, Latoya, I really think we should do something about that. And that's where this product came up, the ideas came up. The end result is not what started originally, but I'm so excited to present it because it's a response to something that I've seen directly in the schools.
Yeah, and we have 30 different options. I don't feel like when I went to school, I could have named 5 outside of the traditional. I could have never given you 5 creative options for careers.
Yes.
Why is it so important, especially in the Caribbean, to expose our children to what other careers are possible for them? Why is it so important?
One of the key things we continue to learn in schools is about globalization and, you know, how worlds connect. And we have a very rich cultural experience that's growing. You know, when you look at the orange economy, how many key players are there? And when you turn to North America or Europe, these folks would have been doing these investing in these non-traditional careers for years. And here, what we have is a curriculum that continues to tell the children, or material that continues to tell them to stick to these traditional career paths. So while there is the need to educate them, there's also the need for an overhaul in how students are educated. And we've seen introduction, for example, in high school of digital media at the CSEC, the CAPE level, and those are really nice ways to kind of get it in. But we have to get to the grassroots of our children and our youth. There's a big industry out there worth billions of dollars, and we have so many creative people, young children who love to write poems, but they don't know that they can become a copywriter. They don't know that they may be selected to write an ad.
Well, can I take it a step further and say, well, maybe some of that education needs to also move to parents, because,
oh my God, yes.
Because a lot of parents are still afraid to allow their children to choose anything outside of the norm. And so I think the overhaul has to happen on both sides, because you still have to convince a mom, a dad, that, you know, this is what I want to do. So that's why I say I think this book needs to go home.
Both. Yeah, man. It's a nice story time as well. But I'm so happy to get it out there, to be honest, because I see the need.
And it's a beautiful book. And you said this book is born accessible. What does that mean? Because by the way, if you go through the book, and I'd just love to show you some of the inside pages of the books, you can actually see real people attached to real jobs. Which camera should I point this to? Because I just want to talk about this a little bit, and how you made this go, this is a real person who does a real job.
Yes.
And so it gives somebody, you know, it's not just a celebrity that you know, this is somebody who's making a living doing
and
this
that's
thing.
Natasha Cunningham, who designed the book cover, and she is like one of the best graphic designers in the world.
She's amazing. I love her. I love her.
Yeah, fashion designer.
But we were talking about Born Accessible, and I'm trying to get to a page where there's also the barcode, because let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes, so a key part of this, even if you look at the title, the book title, the R is actually the sign language for R.
Right.
So again, with the Reading and Reasoning Initiative, I've been getting into the schools, and Dan Williams School for the Deaf is one of the first schools we engaged.
Wow.
And my experience working with them and visiting the students actually crafted a lot of what's in this book. So from the title to the Born Accessibility, which means the book is designed in a way where children who are deaf are able to also access and learn from it.
Amazing.
And that's just in phase 1. Phase 2, we're looking to get Braille on the books so that we can also reach our blind students. And that's a key part of just who I am as a person, thinking of inclusivity and how education should never be limited. So we're so excited about that part as well, getting it into the schools and, you know, for students who also can see themselves represented in the book. We have persons from the disabled community represented in the book as well. We have a deaf dancer, Christoph.
I just saw,
We have Rochelle, who has cerebral palsy, who has her podcast that highlights and spotlights people living with disabilities.
Yeah.
It's just a really great package to not only influence along the lines of students reading, but as you mentioned, parents who probably reading this and say, oh, I can go be a makeup artist now, you know. So it's a two-way street.
I want to talk about partnerships, especially, you know, partnerships like Sandals Foundation that help to bring these projects to life. Tell us about the importance of that.
I just want the entire world to know that I just had one meeting with Sandals Foundation. I was blown away when the group decided to come on board and support Heidi Clark, who's the exec director. One meeting, she said, this is amazing, this is fantastic, we want to support it. They've purchased the first 1,000 copies.
Amazing.
So we've started our road trip where we're now getting into the schools and gifting. And I must also mention the foreword being written by Dr. Yvette Noel Shore, who has built an incredible career in PR, you know, currently managing some of the biggest global stars in the world. She was in Jamaica for the launch and was able to see firsthand the impact of this book on our students. That's just been a cornerstone, and I think it's testament to the fact that as an individual, I just love bring people together. So when it was my time to get this product out, the support has been real. A lot of folks have been asking, and I'm kind of dodging it-ish, like, when we can get the book? When am I going to see this in the store? But honestly, Tami, my first focus is to get the books to students.
Got it.
I have 1,000 copies. I need to get those out. And we're kickstarting a gifting initiative in the first quarter to encourage people who want to also contribute to the movement to gift students, whether it's from a school that they attended or students from the inner city that they really want to get it into. So, well, more want to sell the book. No, but that's not a priority. I really want to get people, more people like Sandals on board. If you want to gift a classroom 50 books, we want to start the movement with that.
And how do we reach out to you to be able to do that? So
we have our socials, which is FutureMakers30. There's also email, which is info@FutureMakers30. I'm on social media as well, very active, posting about this very exciting initiative. So people can get in touch by reaching out on social at FutureMakers30 or emailing us.
And I think everybody who is in any creative industry needs to definitely be in touch with you to donate some copies to their school that they went to. Because I think that's something that can affect it all the way around. Our education system could change based on ideas like this. And so it's very important. Love the work you're doing.
Thank you.
So proud of you. So happy to see that you're back with the finished product.
Of course.
You are a man of your word.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
And of course, I couldn't come to Sunrise without bringing your gift.
That's right.
Your own gift. I have your gifts for you. Yes.
Yeah. Exciting!
Yes, which is story time, so you have to. You're going to have to.
This is great. I love the bag too.
Oh yeah, you know we're stylish at the same time.
I'm going through this with the children.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure. Even though they know, they have 2 parents in the creative industry, and it's a big deal. But so many more to speak about. So many more that I can now highlight and draw for. So I love that. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. All right, many thanks again to Joel for joining us this morning with such an exciting book. I love it. You guys, you really need to get your hands on this and get it to the schools. I love it. We're shifting gears to the animal kingdom with Wags after this, brought to you by True Pet Food. Stick and stay with us. This could be your job.